My apartment's getting a little messy. Could do for a cleanup. Would it be cool with you if I talk kind of where I'm at, artistically while I, clean my apartment? I like the idea of having a friend over while you're cleaning your apartment. This is as close as I'm gonna get to that. This seems like a good place to start. Gotta caffeinate before noon. I always cut myself off at noon. Cleaning tip for some of the people out there that need like accountability partners in order to clean. I will message my mom or my friend and I will just say, hey, I'm cleaning. Is it okay if I send you some before and after pics? I can send it to myself and then it plays like a video, and it's very satisfying after I've finished all my chores to see the before and afters. Because it always feels like, oh, I didn't do as much as I wanted, and then you see it and you're like, whoa, I did a lot. So I've been struggling creatively, and I've been in a creative rut with both fiber arts and with YouTube, and it sucks because creative ruts, they don't typically last a couple days or even a couple weeks. It's like months. Oh, did I rip something important? No, I don't think so. Good. Got lucky there. I'm always amazed by how long it takes to get good at a thing. And even once you're good at it, you can still have periods where you are either actually bad at it again or you feel like you're bad at it. And with YouTube, I feel like I'm still on the learning curve, which I should always be, right? And it's not, I say YouTube, it's video making. It doesn't matter what platform I put it on. But I've spent the past probably 6 months just kind of trying to figure out what I'm looking for and exploring this feeling of, well, okay, fine, you feel like you're not very good at this right now. What does good look like for you in this? And that's led me to do a lot of studying. I should probably fold this. So I study content creators, filmmakers, I read books, articles, watch educational videos. I will watch other content creators as if I'm gonna take a test on it later, evaluating what are they making me feel and why do I feel that way? How are they making me feel that way? Are they doing it intentionally? And adjusting my filming style is something that I want to take very seriously and slowly. I prefer to really nail a concept and get really comfortable with it before moving on to the next. And I've been doing that, very slowly and surely. One of the ways I've been doing that is my editing software, I get questions about this. I use Adobe Rush. It is extremely, extremely bare bones. One of the more simplistic editing softwares you can use. And I'm slowly learning how to use DaVinci Resolve. Did a lot of research on what editing software I want to move to next. I've tried out a couple, but I think DaVinci Resolve is the next one that I really want to dig into. Learning to use DaVinci and switching to it's going to be a very slow process. And I like to keep up with the cadence. I don't want to hit a rut of just, I can't figure this out and it's not working, it's taking too long. So I'm doing a balance right now where I'm working slowly on some videos on DaVinci and then working on other videos on Rush because I can do that much faster. This is my work backpack and it's actually a diaper bag. I thought having a lot of pockets would be a good thing, but it just means I lose things easily and I have to open 20 pockets to get to it. But I like to use my backpacks until they die, so I'll probably be using this for the next 20 years, unless I make a new one. But I don't feel ready to make a backpack yet. My older sister made me a project bag because she watched one of my videos where I said I liked I think they're called the mud bags that are shaped like this, and she kind of based the design off of that, and I've been so loving this. It's been nice because it fits all my active whips. She did a really great job. She got me for Secret Santa for Christmas this year. What do we think? I'm thinking this section looks pretty done. Another cleaning tip I have for people, especially you ADHD people, I know a lot of you are watching because you always write your comments as someone with ADHD or as someone with autism. If I had $1 for every comment that started with that, oh, I'd be so rich. I love it. I love you. But a tip is when you're cleaning your apartment, to prevent getting overly distracted, what I like to do is just push anything that shouldn't be in this area. I just push it out of this area. I don't actually move it to where it goes. That's when I get distracted. So like I had my striped scarf, that's sitting just out of frame in the next room over. And that way, as I'm cleaning and moving through my apartment, I'm slowly pushing stuff closer to where it needs to go without having to constantly make a million trips around to move stuff. Do I want to tackle my desk right now? Anyways, with the whole DaVinci Resolve thing, what you can expect to see is kind of a shift in the style of my videos. The lighting might feel a little different, the colors might feel a little different, and it's something I just need to experiment with. And so it's going to take me a while to sort of redefine my style with this new tool. Should we do the desk? I don't really want to do my desk, which is why I should probably do it now. My friend just invited me to go on a walk to a bakery with her in an hour, so that's honestly really fun. My license should probably be in my wallet. This is why I lose things. I'm actually going to put this one directly in my wallet now before I do anything else, otherwise I'm going to lose it. So something else for YouTube that I've been giving just an insane amount of thought to is aspect ratio, which might seem really, really crazy to think about this much, but I do. And I've been really displeased with the default aspect ratio that YouTube kind of encourages. And I worry that if I change the aspect ratio that people will kind of hate it and feel really disoriented. But I'm wondering if I should do it anyways. So many little papers, so many little notes. So if you're unfamiliar, aspect ratio is the shape of the video. Here's my little drawing. Most YouTube videos you watch are probably a 16:9, and I've been flirting with the idea of moving to a 3.2 or a 4:3. I'm leaning towards 4:3. It's the most square of these options, and I like that so much more. It's crazy how many months I've been thinking about just aspect ratio. So to get a little nerdy here for a second, using a wider aspect ratio like the 16:9 that you normally see, it's done a lot in like films, and sometimes they'll even use a wider one than that. I mean, oftentimes like a 2:1 or something. And it's to show the whole scene, the whole environment. It allows the audience to get a lot more information about the setting. It's good for group dynamics. If you have a lot of people that you want to fit in a shot, if there's a lot of movement and you want to watch that movement, it's really good for that. None of those things are things that I really do on this channel. Like, I don't want you to see more of my apartment. I'd rather have a more square aspect ratio where you're focusing on things more. It's more conducive to showing the projects that I work on. It's a lot more personal. It's used more for like dramas and character focused films. And I think that would just align so much better with the vibe I'm going for with my channel. And I would find it to be a lot easier to work with. I really struggle with the wider aspect ratio, trying to make that work. But I also want to experiment with different aspect ratios, seeing if I could kind of change it as the video goes on. So I did a little bit of play with, I think it was my Christmas dress video, playing with the aspect ratios in there. And I'd like to play a little bit more, but I'm trying to find a way of messing with aspect ratios within a video and changing it during the video and having that appear smooth instead of being kind of really jarring. Okay, desk is looking pretty good, except for the drawer. I shouldn't cheat, we should do the drawer. So artistically, I really want to play with the aspect ratios, but I also want to be mindful of what that effect will have on the viewer. And I need to remember the audience. I think that's more my speed. I think some people, when they make stuff, it's like, this is only for me, and I don't even consider the audience because that takes away the purity of it. And then some people are like, I'm making this for the audience. I'm making this for other people to see and hopefully enjoy. So why wouldn't you consider the audience experience? And I definitely fall somewhere in between where I want to make these artistic choices, but I do want to consider the audience because maybe it'll make me feel a certain way. Like if I use a more square aspect ratio, it'll feel more dramatic and more personal, and it'll play really well from my perception. But if no one else feels that way, then it's not working. And that also plays into this bigger thing where I don't want to get too cinematic on my channel. I don't want to get lost in the weeds, because if I do, then it's no longer approachable. It won't feel as relatable. It'll lose its realness. Do I want to keep this in here? No, I should move that. Don't need a candle in my supplies here. I use this to wax my thread now because I didn't want to buy specific wax for this, and this is 100% beeswax candle, so it works. Oh, these are notes. I was talking to Natalie from Knit Chic, and as we were talking, she was mentioning all these really cool things, so I wrote down some notes from our conversation. I'm always taking notes when I talk to people. That's another focus tip. If you're someone that finds that you interrupt people a lot or your mind wanders, I find it really helpful in conversation to kind of write quick notes down that I don't forget, and that way I can be a little bit more present. Oh no! Oh no, what did I do? An ink stain? Oh, that's sad. No, it's proof of life. It's no, I'm allowed to be sad about it. It's sad. I had my green pen in here. I must have had it unclicked. Oof. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. I can move that. This can stay in here. I'll reference that later and stick it in my journal. All right. All of this stuff gets to be moved. But other than that, I'm done. Woo! I should definitely do some closet cleanup. I also need to do laundry. Does anybody else have piles of various dirtiness in their closets? There's stuff that it's like, yeah, I could wear this 1 or 2 more times without washing it. Oh, yeah, I think I left my debit card in my brown jeans. I should look for that. Nope, they're not in there. All right, I'll need to keep looking. All right, laundry. I probably should have started the laundry before cleaning anything, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. I don't know if that's actually a saying or just something my mom used to say. Feels like a real saying. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I like it. Up here are the clothes that I washed last week and still haven't been put away. Something I'd really like to creatively explore is being more interdisciplinary. It's common advice for like more traditional artists that when you're in an artistic rut, you should try using a different medium. So if you mostly use watercolor, try exploring oils or gouache, do colored pencils, and that can kind of help. And that's something I'm trying to do because I'm kind of stuck creatively with knitting and fiber arts, but also have been kind of stuck with YouTube. So I've been doing like beaded embroidery, like block printing, stamp carving, and I have found that to be very helpful and something I'd like to continue doing. It's cross-training. Like if you run a marathon, you don't just want to practice running, you also want to like build muscle mass and do weight training in the gym. So that's a choice I am consciously making, knowing it might result in me losing subscribers or viewers, because it won't just be all knitting all the time. It'll be exploring different creative mediums. They're going to be adjacent, but not the same. This is the beaded embroidery I've been getting into. It's the first 3 things. I just wanted to kind of practice it. And I've been enjoying this a lot more than traditional embroidery. And it's making me feel more inspired with knitting and crochet because I'm wondering, how could I combine this in some way with knitting and crochet or take inspiration somehow? So that's how being more interdisciplinary is kind of helping me explore these other ways. Sewing very directly has been helping me because you're able to learn about construction so much faster because it is a much faster process than knitting is. I really like this painting now. This was a video I did quite a while ago. I think it's one of my least viewed videos, so check it out if you want. But this was initially a fail that I have since grown attached to. I rearranged my dining room a while ago to be more crafting centered, and I've been really enjoying that. I've been storing my fabric in here, my sewing machines, and having my like most frequently used sewing equipment in here, and that's been making it so much easier for me to set up, take down, and removing some of the barriers of like, oh, I gotta go to 3 different rooms to grab my sewing stuff and compile it. I like deprogramming what a room is supposed to be and allowing it to function for your specific life. Something I've been doing really well for ever and would like to continue doing is researching. I feel really good about that. It was one of my favorite things to do in school. It's one of my favorite things to do for my job. And I extend that into a lot of different facets of my life, including my hobbies. Let me show you what I mean by research. We'll take a break from cleaning for a second. Oh wait, actually I have lunch with my friend. I need to get ready for that. Okay, what do we think of my walking to the bakery outfit? I think it's like 50-ish degrees outside, so it's pretty warm. I like my dress here. I don't get to wear it enough. Don't get to. As if I'm not picking my outfits every day. But it's got these like roses on it, but from afar it's just like a cute like 90s floral print. Pippin, what? Did you lock yourself in? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And whose idea was that? Huh? Have we learned our lesson? She's learned 0 lessons. I'm thinking I'm gonna wear these boots because they're really comfortable for walking in, but still being like pretty cute. Give me a little lift because I am so short. I've been wearing these a lot, but I think I might wear my pearl bow earrings. I'm feeling pretty good about the direction of this outfit. See what I mean about this freaking aspect ratio? Do you know how far I have to back up? I've already mentioned this. I've already complained about it. But to like show you an outfit, as usual, I've got my loose and comfy soft bike shorts on. Pippin, girl, if you take out the blankets, that's not cool. I just folded those. Okay, what do you think? Red hat or do I do no hat? I kind of like how fluffy this is. All right, I'm gonna go to the bakery, but we're gonna talk about research stuff when I get back. Hello, I'm back from my bakery adventures. I had a cheese Danish and it was amazing. So I was talking about research and how I've been doing it and how I want to continue doing it. And I'd really like to maintain some level of consistency. I mean, I go through phases right now, but I'd really like to try and stay a little bit more consistent with my research and not rely on random bits of motivation. I also don't want to force it. So trying to find the balance is a bit of a struggle. Like this notebook that I have, that I should probably title, it's chocked full of just knitting research, like designing and fiber types and just diving into manufacturing processes. Like I do a lot of research. I appreciate that just so I can be really confident in the things I'm saying. And when I say I don't fully understand something or I'm not an expert, that's me trying to be really honest because I never want to present myself as knowing something that I don't truly understand. And this notebook, YouTube notes and musings, video ideas, scripts, and plans. So here, I mean, like it sounds is where I come up with a lot of ideas. So this was like my storyboard for my crochet Halloween spiderweb vlog. I'm gonna not flip through too much of this because there's some secret information in here. I really like being able to plan and learn and store that all in one place. But then I also have a second notebook specifically for YouTube, and that focuses on platform learnings and then cinematography as well. So I like studying cinematography, filmography, and kind of learning from that world. Like in here, for example, I did a deep dive. I will take a content creator, so Jenna Phipps was the example here, and I will go through and watch like so many of her videos in a single day or weekend, and I'll start tracking information, looking for patterns, what videos of hers do like really well, why do I think they did well, any lessons that I might want to learn from these content creators. I'm in a Discord group with some other content creators, and so any learnings I get from them I like to write down. I looked up kind of closed captioning best practices to make sure that I actually understood what I was doing when it came to actually adding subtitles to my videos. Oh, this was fun. I've been studying Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. I'm trying to study cinematography, but studying one director at a time and diving into their style. So I was studying Hayao Miyazaki, and one thing that really stood out to me was the use of silence. It's really beautifully implemented in Studio Ghibli films, and it's amazing to notice. So I ended up watching pretty much all of these Studio Ghibli movies in a week or two, and really only specifically paid attention to the use of silence in those films. And then I thought about content creators I know that use silence really well on their channels. So Fran Manesi, she's an artist, and she does a really beautiful job of using silence in her videos. A Seasonal Conversation, Cheyenne Barton, so Chris Atomic. So it's been nice studying simultaneously YouTube and cinematography and seeing what I can learn from that and how I can implement it in my own stuff. And this is just my iPad. And there are loads of topics I've been enjoying studying for YouTube, like how can I use writing to become a better storyteller? Because that's kind of a weaker area in my YouTube tool belt, and I'd really like to develop that skill. So I've been working my way through a couple different books in that category. I store a lot of research in my personal journal that maybe I will show a little bit of sometime. Today's not that day. Right now I'm working my way through the Filmmaker's Handbook, which is a chunky boy of a book, 840 plus pages. It's been interesting so far. I think it's just not quite what I wanted. I would love to have something dive a bit deeper into how to move the camera. What different feelings does it give you? Pros and cons of moving the camera in certain ways. How can it be utilized as a tool? So this book does a little bit of that, but I would love something that dives a lot more into it. Framing people in the shot. How does it work? What does it mean? Who are you highlighting? How does it make the viewer feel? I like this. I think I just want more. I mentioned that I'm studying Hayao Miyazaki right now, and Studio Ghibli in general. Also, if you don't know if it's Studio Ghibli or Studio Ghibli, both are correct. Don't let anyone bully you into thinking otherwise. Hayao Miyazaki pronounced it Ghibli, but he based it on an Italian plane where the J sound is pronounced more like Ghibli, so both are correct. I picked up some books from the library to help me kind of dive in a little bit deeper beyond just watching his stuff. I also want to see other people analyzing it and seeing what are they seeing that I'm missing. But I want to make sure that I do both. I don't want to rely on the opinions of others and the analysis of others. I want to think critically for myself, but there is stuff I'm going to miss because I'm not a professional film critic and I'm not a professional filmmaker, so I'm gonna miss certain stuff. Yeah, so I got a couple books that I am very excited about. I just got these, so haven't gotten to dive into them yet. Grave of the Fireflies. This was a really sad movie, but it did not make me cry. I did a movie marathon one weekend because I specifically wanted to cry. Very light spoiler alerts. The movie is sad the entire time, and I found out that what makes me cry in movies is a sharp swing in emotion. And for this one, that there is no sharp swing. It's sad the whole time. These are going to be so good. These little Post-it notes on here, it's because these are all from the library, and I just wanted to cover it up so you don't see what library I hang out at. This is a book that I got that I'm also interested in, is Hard to Watch, and it talks, at least from my understanding, it talks more about how to critically watch films. Based on the writings on the back and like the little bit that I've read, of what I'm hoping is it's going to focus on how to appreciate movies and watch critically, because any idiot can walk into a movie theater, watch a movie, and have an opinion. And I don't want to say those opinions are invalid because that's not true, but I really don't like the idea of watching a movie and just saying, oh, it's bad. Why is it bad? Is it objectively bad, or do you feel like it's bad, or did it not live up to your expectations? So I'd like to become better at critically analyzing films and hoping that that makes me actually appreciate movies more. I'm scared it's going to make me appreciate them less, but I'm hoping I will like them more. Okay, and the last piece of research, this notebook was actually my husband's, but he doesn't use it, so he gave it to me. Look at how amazing this is, right? So I did this when I first started making YouTube videos, and I was feeling kind of stuck in my apartment, feeling all bad for myself, being like, this isn't an aesthetic apartment. How am I going to film in here? I'm so limited. I only have one window. And then I kind of mentally slapped myself in the face a little bit and was like, well, grow up, figure it out, get creative. That's what you do. You get creative. So I went around my apartment and I took photos in various spots that I could film in and set it up as if I were to film in that spot, and wrote down what did I like, what did I not like, what feels off about the shot. This one, the angle's kind of off. I couldn't get it to be perfectly top down. It's difficult to pose. Sometimes it felt uncomfortable. Lights that I should turn on and off. How do I want to orient my body? So I went through different rooms. I mean, these are all just my dining room, and set up different shots. So this has been a really helpful tool when I'm making videos for me to reference later and be like, okay, if I want to film in my kitchen, here are the options that I can use. I really like this leather chair setup, but unfortunately my router is up here and I don't think it can really be moved, and it interferes with my microphone, so I can't film by that really if I want to talk. I like this, but it looks like I'm kind of looking down on you, metaphorically. Anyways, this is just a good reminder to myself to, first off, stop complaining about my limitations and instead embrace them and get creative. Stop this, oh, I can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. No, you can. You really can. And you can do it in a way that's different and unique because other people aren't working with the same limitations you are. And sometimes other people are working with far more. You could absolutely make an interesting YouTube video if you lived in a gray box. So I'd like to continue filling out this notebook with sort of a reference guide for myself and kind of key learnings about filming and setup and stuff. That's all my research. I know that's a lot, but it's something that I find to be incredibly important to my creative process. I don't think everyone necessarily needs to be a research kind of person. I think I'm mostly done cleaning my apartment. I really just wanted to clean up the living room mostly and get the laundry done. I might pick up a couple areas, but I don't want to do too much. I'm trying not to go too hard with cleaning lately. Make it a slightly more enjoyable process. The last thing I wanted to mention in terms of my creative explorations when it comes to making videos is I would like to continue and improve at doing a wide variety of videos. So doing a mixture of things. I want to do videos, that feel very, cinematic, prepared, intentional, just like a lot of forethought going into them and a lot of work in the execution and editing phase. But I also want to mix it up with videos like this that are more casual, because I find that I learn a lot from both types of videos. Like this video, what even is this? This is just me talking about creativity and the things I've been thinking about creatively while I kind of clean my apartment and show off my books. But it's good for me to do a bunch of different types of videos so I can learn more. I just want to add a quick note to clarify what I was saying about learning a lot from the more informal videos. To me, this video feels like the equivalent of an artist doing a rough sketch. And you learn a lot from that, and not every single piece of art you make needs to be, nor should it necessarily be, a huge masterpiece that you pour everything into. You need to do the little sketches too to practice little things and learn and grow. So I just want to clarify what I was saying. I often will talk myself out of doing videos like this that are a little bit more casual, and was kind of looking down on them and myself for doing them. It's like, well, I need to learn how to balance myself a little bit better here. And I just wanted a space to share with you because it's going to affect the channel and you're going to see stuff, but the changes I'm making are going to be so incredibly slow. Because when I watch my YouTube videos, I get comments from people being like, wow, it's crazy to see how much your videos have changed. But for me, having kind of lived it slowly over time, I feel like it's just been such a slow, steady process, and it will continue to do so. Like, I'm studying Studio Ghibli, and I want to apply the lessons I learned from that to my videos in a very interesting way. Sorry, like nerding out for a second. There are so many things that the Hayao Miyazaki filmography does, and Studio Ghibli as a whole does, that's really amazing. And the way that they're able to make someone feel an emotion, and there's so much that I can't do. Like, I can't animate the whole video. I can't animate any of the video. And I can't do the big, grandiose outdoor shots and reveals. Maybe someday, but I don't live in an area where that's easy to do, which may be a limiting thought. Maybe I can, but I don't really want to. I'd like to stay contained within my apartment. So I specifically want to deep dive in his indoor setups and how those look and how does that contribute to the feel of a scene. There are a lot of things I can't do, but there are a lot of things I can do. Like, I'm loving studying specifically the use of silence in Studio Ghibli movies. I could go on. I need to cut myself off here. The whole point being, there are so many things I can learn and apply to what I do here, and I'd like to continue doing, crafty vlogs feels kind of like my bread and butter on YouTube. And so I'm not going to be making like films for you. It's gonna stay the same, but there are things I can learn to improve this. Because I really love the idea that with movies, you get to make people feel something. I can't really do that with knitting as much. It's really hard to make someone look at a sweater and feel something beyond like, oh, that's cute or cool. People can be interested in it. But with like film and making videos, you can way more easily and directly manipulate people's emotions in a way that can be just really powerful and really beautiful. And I love the idea of being able to do that. So thank you for joining me for this very informal, chatty, what's on my mind. I don't talk too much about like my process in making YouTube videos, and I don't plan on talking about my process too much, but I wanted to touch on it a little bit just because it's something that I think about all the time. It is so sunny and frickin' beautiful outside. I'm glad I got to go for a little walk to the bakery and stop by the library.